Thanks very much for joining me today on the Sales Accelerator demo, because what the Sales Accelerator does is provide a technology which gives a company and or an individual a systematic way of organizing their sales process and hence shortening the sales cycle. Now, the methodology that a tool uses has been used to reduce the sales cycle and explode turnover of many companies across different sectors over the last 20 years. For clarity, this tool can be used in any business for individuals or sales teams. However, the businesses that we are specifically targeting are SMEs who are working with complex sales cycles in key accounts. So let's now move into the tool and explore this methodology. So this is the dashboard, which allows you to just keep track of all of your key stats as you move through the tool. But the Sales Accelerator tool is effectively broken down into 4 key segments. The first one is the accounts, and that allows you to break down and segment your accounts so that you'll then be only working on the accounts that give you the biggest return on investment. Once you've segmented the accounts, the next stage is to then create objectives. Obviously, they'll be smart. Once you've got your objectives set out for each of those accounts, you'll then move into making the decisions and understanding the decisions for each one of those objectives to ensure that you can then build up a decision-making unit which allows you to understand the people involved in that decision, and then you then move on to the most important part, which is creating an action plan for each one of those decisions to deliver on those objectives. So the first stage that we're going to move into is looking at the account segmenter, which will allow you to very easily segment your accounts and then start focusing on the right accounts to work with. So as you can see here, it's a simple 4-box matrices. You've got the title of the segmentation, you've then got the date it was created. Up on this vertical axis, you've got attractiveness. Attractiveness is what's the likely return on investment in there. So it's things like potential, headroom, etc. Across the bottom on the horizontal axis, you'll have probability, which is what is the likelihood that this account will actually work with you. So access and those sorts of things. That then gives you 4 priorities. Priority 1 is obviously where you start. The only other one that I think need to mention is priority 4. That's low attractiveness, low probability. So why would you even waste any time working in that segment? So once you've created your segmentation, then if you hover on one of these balls, then you'll see that it tells you what the account is. And if you then click on that, it'll take you into the account details. Then you move on to stage 2, which is the objective setting stage. And you add a new objective here. That objective will then drop into your list view. So you've then got a list of the objectives. And then the way we've built it is that we've got a navigation, 3 buttons here. So if you click on that, that then tells you exactly what you want to do with each of those objectives. So you can go from the list view to actually look specifically at the objectives details. So therefore you can see that's the objective. And that's all the information. So stage 3 now that you've got the account segmentation, so you know where you're going, you've got the objectives built in, so you know what your objectives are, and then you then add a decision. Once you've added a new decision, it will then drop in to this list view, and that's then all the decisions related to the objectives. You'll then use the navigation to basically look at the influencer matrix, which is then built around that decision. And this influencer matrix obviously then gives you all of the information you require. Up the side here is the level of influence. Across the top is how those people make their decisions. The color code is here, so you can see it. And then the arrows, the direction of arrows, is the direction of influence. So that then gives you a very clear decision-making influencer matrix, which allows you to then build up an action plan. You've now got all of the information in one place about that objective, that account, and that decision, including the decision-making unit there. And then if you scroll down, then you've got all your actions, and to add a new action, you just click Add New Action. As per normal, you can then look at it in the list view, which will show you all of your actions, whether they're upcoming or overdue, etc., and when the deadline is. But then you can also look at it in this calendar view, because then you can see this is the objective that's booked in, and that's the deadline. Then you've got the decision, which is what you're trying to achieve, and then there's the action. And the very last thing that pulls it all together, if you go back to objectives, and then you click on the nav bar, view Gantt chart for this objective, and that really pulls everything so that you can see an overview of all of the information that you've put in there. So that's the objective at the top, convince them to promote Sales Accelerator to all their customers. When you drop down here, you can see the orange is a decision. Then these are the actions. So simple, easy, but proven to be effective. And if you want a step-by-step walkthrough, then check out the next video on this webpage. And there's also a super short video on our launch pricing offer, which I don't think you want to miss. And if you want to share the news of this great tool and make money while doing it, then there's an even shorter video on our affiliate program. Failing that, sign up today by clicking the register button at the top of this page.